start of this week of the Today Show breakfast here on Sleep Television Channel 37. Mina Patrick Salia. Firstly, we'll bring you up to speed with a motivational message here. It say, when the borders become too easy to slip through, the nation's safety, economy, and accountability all begin to lose their balance. It's a way we border them. They turn out for be once outside people, they slip easily. For pass through, then you have for begin and guard for your economy, like country, people away for all accountable, and then how the balance will get for work. So this is just kind of the situation we're faced with as a country, because according to authorities' estimates, we get over 700 porous borders across the country, predominantly between Guinea and Liberia, and predominantly in Gambia, Kono, Leone, and a few other places, but we can't digest that in a short while. So let's bring you the map where Salonde share with neighboring countries. Remember, Salonde part of we Mano River Union countries, MRU, and then we're a member of the ECOWAS region as well, and then we're a member of AU, African Union, where formerly the African Organization of African Unity. So if you see Salon, now in shape like, now in this edge. I don't know those kind of shape I get like ball we don't boss kind of, or ball we don't get pinhole, where it edge one side. So now Salon in this shape like ball, and if you see Salon is almost surrounded by Guinea, and on the side of Leone and Leone, Kenema and Leone, you see Liberia. So large portion of we border with any of the neighboring countries now with Guinea. So if you see, for example, on the Leone end, you see one place where they call Gegedu. It's now one part of the places where they believe say that they the first Ebola, that they Salon, the Sierra Leone and they go contract the first Ebola case. Also, that native doctor, that mommy, we go treat somebody and come with them. And then you see Gegedu gets a share boundary as well with Lofa County and Liberia. So more or less, Sierra Leone on the water side, nobody did it. On the land side, we're surrounded almost entirely by Guinea and Liberia. And almost all of them places where they see so, the majority of the crossing, not to legal place where Sierra Leone authorities demand. But we can go into all of that again shortly. All throughout, in all of this area, now one part of the country where most of the problems for this country don't come out, through Leone. Leone in the eastern region of the country, now there we don't get the start of the war in 1991, and then the rebel war starts. Ebola in 2014, at Leone, and through Leone it passed from Guinea. The war come from Liberia. So when you check by constituency demarcation, the first constituency in the entire country in Leone, the constituency 001, Leone there as well. So bulk of the problems we Salon don't face with, when are major problems, don't pass through Leone. The rebel war, Ebola, and one or two other things. So Leone kind of now cause for concern. However, you get other border districts like Gambia when a business melting pot for Salon and Guinea. Most Sierra Leoneans where they go do business in Guinea now through Gambia in the past. But hardly would there be much of a problem or catastrophe from Gambia axis than Leone. So the 700 plus porous borders that this country, would they ask the question, which we don't do about them? Or what are we doing about them? And remember, we're in the scourge of drug pandemic. Currently, we also face serious smuggling through them border crossing points and they. Now through Salon also, through them border crossing area and they also, now they then quite recently arrest one Guinean national where they carry parcels of cocaine, about 15 or so. Look at this. One of the border crossing areas, especially through Pujan axis. And then quite recently, this one not through porous border, this one are through the legal entry points, the airports. And then you get a Zambian national where they arrest also the traffic cocaine and other illicit drugs. So waiting more or less the authorities they do about this. Now go through quickly to the police and then get the updates from the head of CID, will be the updates, press conference quite recently on some of the arrests where they don't make, particularly at the airport, around this current fight for tackle illicit drugs in Salome.
Now we not just left this thing so. Why person for in first place forget the guts for attempt for use of airport for traffic drugs and give bad name to the country? It go must be say we get some insiders them where they support. Now we do a clean up. Now we airport. Now we investigate. We are not in a hurry. And when we don't investigate, we don't get several people that we custody. And they talk about 4. Adams Peter Seri, then the terminal building manager. We get Abubakar Kamara, security manager, all airport. They will get Lawrence Dumbuya, na the baggage scanner, na level 3, the highest level. And one Mohammed Lamin of the financial intelligence agencies. We don't arrest them because we don't get reasonable grounds for suspecting then collude, aid and abet that Abid there for try for smuggle cocaine through the airport for give the country back then. And so far, as I say, I know they discuss the nitty-gritties of the evidence, not for the courts, now they are the presenter. But suffices to say that we don't get some admissions from the suspect. In fact, they don't tell we say the money where they pay them now $20,000, and then tell me how they Sheba would I get 5, would I get 4, and so on and so forth. And some of them, one dog, he say he get bad dream, he don't eat the money, so he owe $5,000, he don't surrender to the police. The other one is say they don't use part of the money for paying their school fees. So the balance, a woman get her. We don't try for counter, he refuse. The man from the financial intelligence agency, Mohammed Lamin, he say out of the 4,000 we in get as a share, he don't use the 3,000. The 1,000 he don't surrender to it. Suffices for that case. That matter is under investigation. We don't left any stone unturned. Although it is easy for now with left handle, say they don't capture Habib DM, he didn't court. Now he get the drug. Now say no. If see that foreigner they get mine for come for attempt for pass through the airport, he get who sell a mask. Would they do that clean up there? Would they clean the file one?
With the updates journalism in the recent police press briefing on security matters, precisely in the ongoing fight on tackling the scourge against drug abuse or illicit drugs in the country. So from in statement, more or less, they should say the porosity of the borders not only gets to do with the one the way with security, not the man. So even the one the way security and every other system they in place, they are also porous. So let's talk to Honorable Mahmoud Kamara, when I'm a member of parliament for the Western Area Urban, and also a member of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Internal Affairs. Honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And also they expect Abdul Karim Will, the Director of Strategic Communications, Office of National Security, ONS. Let's first talk to, when you look at this boundary of Sierra Leone, it should say, firstly, we get so much for worry about, correct? We look, Guinea almost completely surrounds Sierra Leone, and then Liberia on the other hand, and then over the years, we don't see Salome they struggle with the neighboring country, for example, Yenga, Guinea on Yenga, for again that small village there. But when it comes to this matter of security concern now, and then we start for begin worry. With all of the arrests that they make so quite recently at the border them, so they begin imagine how much of the illegal entry points we get. On our account say now over 700 of them. You want to confirm that for you first, Honorable?
Now good morning again, and good morning to the listeners. I want for example, it's not over 700, over 800.
Over 800?
Over 800 crossing points. Now we connect Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. So definitely any other Sierra Leone member of the world, because over these 800 crossing points between Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, between Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, the workforce for manning very, very challenging, because we only get about few of them who actually gets a legal crossing point. Legal, I mean that we get security apparatus then, we get immigration officers then for ensuring the checkmates, things the way they come in, where they go out. Mm-hmm. Those are only few who can take note of. The rest we left and give at the mercy of God. So it's very, very worrisome.
You say over 800 of them?
Over 800.
Cuts across?
Not over 700, over 800.
So that is spread from Cambia, Bombali,
Kailao,
Tonkolili, Falaba.
All over 800 crossings.
Say you go Pujan. All these boundaries, all this what they talk about.
Over 800 crossings. And the way they make it become more worried, now the workforce. Because imagine, like for immigration, when they in charge for ensure say they take notes of things that people the way they enter in this country
and exit,
the way they go out, things the way they come into this country. They don't even sum up to the number, even if they decide for put one immigration officer in all of those crossing points. When we go on immigration, we go do oversight to see how they carry on their activities. Because normally we do oversight within at the end of every year. If you know where you want to go do oversight. And then we come for discover say the entire workforce of the immigration department, let the public understand the immigration department and the institution really responsible for make sure they issue out passports to the citizens there, as well as they give visas to people who want to enter the country, and they issue residence permits to foreigners then. We did inside the country, and as well as they issue out emergency documents for lay people to travel, and as well as monitor activities of foreigners really within the country. And all of those, they clearly tell you the important role where the immigration sector gets. But it will be shocking for we learn, say, over these 800 crossing points in the country, and only 320 workforce, the entire immigration gets.
320?
320 workforce.
Personnel?
320 personnel. And the entire
out of the 800, over 800 crossing points.
Over 800 crossing points there.
We get
320 workforce. That's the one within our office, the entire nation. Now only 320.
And immigration gets.
As
personnel.
As personnel.
You want to within a
headquarter. If you decide.
You want to within a headquarter as well as.
Headquarter, within the border stem, all over, for make sure say. I think I don't list the important functions the way the immigration gets. All the important functions will only get 320 people.
So meaning we get a shortfall of over 500.
Yeah, over 500.
Shortfall.
Yes, over 500. Even if we decide to put just one now each of them crossing point here, we'll still not get a manpower there.
So meaning we not forget accurate data, records and statistics of people where they come into or go out of the country as a result.
It's difficult because the legal crossing points there will get the Freetown International Airport. Mm-hmm. Where anybody, when they enter through that route there, we're able to take note of them. We get the Wataki. Anything they come in.
Goods especially.
Yes, exactly. We're able to take note of them. Then, of course, we get the Balamuya crossing point.
Akambia.
Yes. Cambia district. So that one, they will able to take notes of waiting they come in. Then, of course, we get the Gendema, water side. We itself, we able to take notes of what they come in.
And Akenema.
Yes. So, but all of them also now, what did happen to the other 800?
So you guys see me as well, like Pujang.
Yeah, well, what you had to try for do? Now for Lake, we able to understand what is the immigration, outside the strength stop.
Okay.
As against the risk where the country they into. Because definitely it's extremely difficult for Lake to take notes of every goods where they come into the country because of the vulnerability. And I think say most people who want to invade tax or where they into illicit things them, they self aware of them things here, so they definitely they take advantage of them. So it's very, very risky for we as a citizen. Then definitely now lost to the states.
And then we go check this, for example, that this Yenga. I remember, I think it was in December or so, when we visited Yenga. The immigration posse we did it, and one, poorly equipped, poorly resourced, and several other challenges. We already we don't face that threat still between Sierra Leone and Guinea.
When we go to oversight, this again, now that we able for discover the infrastructure sector. The infrastructure actually not the for like we actually properly man we borders them. Even the few immigration staff there where we don't take note of where they go na them various places there. The infrastructure actually not the for like one day for host them. You know, they at all. Some man they struggle where you go outside for sleep. And they don't even get a proper office from where they go sit, and then borders they have for make actually they able for take notes and do their work proper. So all of those things minus the lower manpower where they get, even the infrastructure, the makeup, and all the even
look at this Bengu, for example. If you see the structure where they dirty.
Now that's how it's for tell you so. Now that's how it's tell you proper office no dey. Even outside for host them, the infrastructure no dey. So talk less of lights, because they need all of those things for them to be effective.
And the operations.
Yes, exactly. They need all of those things. So when we go to oversight, we discover all of them things that the gaps are so many. And if at all we want to make sure so we protect to borders them, because the country for now, we image really the dent between even we neighbors them. If we observe keenly for the past 1 month or two, much of the things them where you go either say, if you're not Sierra Leonean, even a foreigner, if you're not catch now we own border, they go tell you say they pass through we own borders them for make sure say they go to drugs and other things them now other countries.
You are on the legal point when at airport. You hear the head of CID just now the account say they arrest some people where them bribe $20,000.
I am where I come, I see that report there. And it's good way they for capture the one day, because we get a lot of work for do now as citizens and as people in authority for ensure say we maintain the image we almost destroy to neighbors them and other countries them. So now a good job they do, and I hope say they will continue that kind of spirit where they don't start for ensure say they protect we borders them and for make sure say people get confidence for enter to the country without the perception say Sierra Leone a drugs country or whatever you may call it.
So for over 800 crossing points where una don't document as internal affairs committee in parliament.
Yeah.
How much of that one day you will say get the bulk concentrated in one particular district? Where any district where na more prone?
It cut across really. It's difficult because in oversight we'll not be able for categorize them into districts. But that again I know that you will need for look into. We concern Nabi the crossing point them. Now that Nabi will focus. For see, and most of them they will actually able for man. And we'll get a lot more for do. Because even the one day where they send, trust me, because they get a patrol team where they go now some of the one day we are in or not get personnel there. So when they go there alternatively, probably they could decide for go on this side today. Sometimes they need for some time, move go other side. You self know see that kind of thing is not effective. Because a criminal go always wait, get the schedule, and not say within this time they go there. With this time they not go there so it just wait for your golden opportunity where they not go there. They come in with whatever and feel say if you come in with we definitely if nothing we genuine, we good for citizens and no need for like you go bypass. You go through the right channels and for make sure you enter the country. Like I say initially, say now even a loss to the state. Because some people, even if not to arm for something, but you want to invade the necessary tax for pay, for like enter into the country legally, you go decide for use any of the other routes here. You make sure say you can inside the country, which means the state, what did the state forget from that one day? The state dollars up. And the immigration sector now one of the sides where they generate income as well. So if we actually empower them, they get all what it needs, get the manpower. I should say the states go pay more. The states will generate more resources.
So meaning over time, we don't concentrate more on immigration activities just for passports. Hence, we don't concentrate the personnel them clustered in Afriton and left them border crossing area than they for man.
The 320 workforce already. We get over 30 with the free talk.
Over 30?
Over 30 with the free talk. So now look how we borders are open. Look how borders are open.
When you talk,
like I mean, talk about the
sorry, Honorable. When you talk about the personnel and the 330, you talk about which class of
320.
Which class of immigration worker?
320 workforce. The one day where you feel safe, way for dinner office, where they handle passports, where they handle every documentation, where they now we borders them. The total workforce with immigration currently gets 320.
But if you go to immigration headquarters, for example, you go count more than 300 people.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We now in charge for ensure we look into the affairs of the immigration department, examine and assess what they do. And what they do answer on the report of what we get.
Okay.
In less than a month when we go to oversight. So whatever they say to
less than a month ago?
A little over a month, sorry. A little over a month when we go to oversight.
Would it take around September?
Yes. A little over a month we'll go to oversight. So this what they say that we current, we're in the current situation of the immigration sector. Like I say just on the aspect of the loss. Say the immigration sector will generate income. So if we not control the borders, a loss to the states. Just in 2024, the immigration able for raise 146.7 million euros. Just 2024.
146.7
million euros.
And 146.7 billion.
Yes, billion euros, exactly. And from January this year to August, they don't raise 80.9 million euros, where they don't generate much now on passports, visa, and residence permits.
So that are just the legal point of view.
So yeah, what I try for say now is, imagine they will raise this kind of money, despite all of the kind of leakages there. So let's get a thought around them. What if the state will forget? If we decide for invest more, for make sure we control the borders them, and take proper note of each and every person when they come into this country or whatever they come into this country, what if the state and we as a people go up for gain?
Again, I just imagine somebody would say, even America, the United States of America, themselves gets porous entry points, whether through Mexico or elsewhere, for let people come into the United States of America. Hence, they don't struggle with this problem over time.
Yeah. Yes, it go in any other country, but you self, based on the discussion now, you self don't understand. Say we own too much. You own too much. Over 800 crossing points, we aim for take note of only few.
So the one
we aim for even take note of up to 10% of we able get control even more than 10% of the entire crossing point. So it makes we as a citizen become worried. People that will get negative perspective, they could use that advantage for even count arms. Yes, we know say they don't use it for cow drugs, but what of the arm? So that make us be serious for ensure say we empower the immigration sector. Then once again, what we take note of when we go do oversight, the collaboration with the immigration department and other similar bodies like the police,
the military as well.
Yes, the collaboration is not too strong. So now one of the recommendations that again we'll make for
where's the collaboration look poor in what sense?
Of course, like I say, the immigration not get the total manpower we needed.
So then therefore depend on the police and the military.
Police and the military. And the police and the military sometimes, like of recent, we don't see even police the way don't they involve into drugs activities them where they don't hold series of them. It happen. So once you advise, when we discover that, we say the need for get the whole sector for see how they could involve and sensitize the citizens them within and then separate crossing points here and find a way where they go bring them on board, probably through training and sensitize them for make them understand their responsibility as a citizen and the danger if we continue for left those places open. Because even some of the people within and then crossing points here, they just to them they feel saying I'm money making. So then self not get time they even collaborate with the people who probably they come into the country with things them we no say not good for the people. But to them they are deprived, so they feel say now a way for them themselves make money. So we need a whole educational sector on that aspect there. And we get for try for see how the police and the military will actually support the immigration sector.
Especially with that kind of huge shortfall.
Yes, shortfall. Because the police, of course, they get large number. They get large number. They're in over 8,000 or so. So they came for chip in and ensure how they could help collaborate with the immigration sector, at least for local youth for reduce them to the best way possible. We go be safe for we as a citizen, and at least we for generate income again for the state.
How much response since we don't engage, we don't come out with this findings here and present them to the authorities? How much response we don't get positively to the issue there as well?
Well, actually, this week now for Goliath Parliament. Normally, when we complete an oversight, when they put them together, they will go for Goliath first in Parliament. So now this week, Mr. Speaker don't give instructions. See every committee now for good table and Parliament. For more don't table now, I think. We don't start and so now we get for the ensure see the public aware of the current situation where we will start them as a sensitization just like how I don't make mention of borders them and the people who they live in them borders today. So we take them from there. So this week here, same go out, we get for the engage immigration and the other sectors there who I don't make mention of for like they for continue for collaborate with immigration so that they will protect their borders there. We will for take notes of what they enter into the country. I think that they could get for help this situation. I think within this month or so, I don't know if in a timber or so, of them talk to them.
Yes.
How he able to manage for pass through, for Bo, the checkpoints, then he able to pass through all the aspects of Sierra Leone borders, they may cause them until we reach the Liberia border. They able for all out huge chunks of drugs. So how they able to get them easy? For go through your own borders then, without they not detected until they
that is another point. Country. That is another point, Honorable. We see, for example, a lady with cocaine, parcels of cocaine, where they arrest at one of the crossing points. And this still happen over time, where people, they traffic certain substance them, or smuggle certain substance them, they don't pass through all the checkpoints them. Now until they reach some of them crossing points, and they when I joined this Sierra Leone and the other nationals, whether Liberian or Guinean nationals, then they man together, and they able to go identify these problems. Drugs, for example, this lady in question, for example, see a checkpoint, and then crossing point, and they don't pass through often. Most of the time, as we happen, they pass through all the checkpoint them.
I sometimes I see.
So in order for do mostly only with the porosity of the over 800 crossing points.
We need a lot of education. Let people
even the one the way that they would pass frequently, then seem to be much more porous than the one they will not feel say
we
get
need
the
a lot of
protection.
sensitization. Let people understand what it mean for being a Sierra Leonean and the image of the country. You know, like I say, people then just feel say to them an opportunity for continue for make more money. So it's so embarrassing as a nation for we neighbors then, like Liberia and Guinea. How they use security apparatus then. They take them time for make sure that they serve the nation. they do the necessary things then for make sure say they checkmate what they enter in the country. While we self not consider that aspect there as a citizen, for let we self be effective for make sure say we check what they come in and go out in this country. It only take us for be a patriotic citizen for local do that one day. That not get for
and when you talk
any other thing.
And when you talk about the checkpoints, more or less they are being manned by police and military personnel where not get immigration people and they. So they tell you more of the side also will get the registered and certified security people. Now they would get more of them CPG here, so they happen.
The over 800 crossing points now only 41 immigration get staff.
Only 41.
Only 41. We'll go do this oversight now. Discover that only 41 of the over 800 crossing points there. So that don't tell you the work and the responsibility within at the hand of the security them. And we, as a nation, we look forward to security them for your safety. And as a nation, for continue for promote the image of this nation. So, me they use this opportunity for talk to the Inspector General of Police, the head of military, for let them do more on the personnel then. I think this dent in Sierra Leone image.
Was it do more
in the aspect for let the officers them they understand the roles and responsibility. Let them know say they did there for serve the people protect this nation. But if they allow that kind of things here to happen, it is as if they are not there. So let the IG do more and educate the officers then for make sure say they protect what they come into this country and what they go out. But again, let them understand say not just them, they are there representing Sierra Leone.
But again, you go born in Peking, you born here, so people don't go tell you. You born in Peking, you get the best thing in the end.
Let the leader be robust. Let them understand the consequences of each and every one of them where they find wanting. See the day in compliance for make sure see then the bad things all they talk of it happen. So let us be serious about it. This has to do with Sierra Leone. It has to do with the image of this nation. Okay,
let's take time. Welcome Abdulkarim Will, Director of Strategic Communications, Office of National Security. Mr. Will, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Over 800 crossing points in this country, with only about 41 being manned by immigration and a shortfall of security personnel, and then the country report said they lost hugely, economically and otherwise. As Office of National Security, how much is this of a concern to you in the first place?
It's a serious concern. And for states, every country in the world, it's almost impossible for them to put barrier right around the country, like they put fence. It creates borders in the minds of people, not necessarily for put walls. Quite impossible for let you fence your entire country. So what do they talk now about people where they come in and out of the country for understand say a day against the law for use crossing points clandestinely without using the designated routes. Border then says have been categorized into 3 classes. Okay, class A, class B, and class C borders. All of them are recognized passing points. Class A, huge volume of activities that happen there, and therefore you get all of the state paraphernalia deployed in that crossing point. So we'll talk about Balamuya, we'll talk about Jendema, we'll talk about Wataki, we'll talk about the airports. Then we'll get class C crossing point and class B crossing point. These were again less volume and therefore less deployment. Or even at that, we'll get people and deployed there. So places like Ogebendu, Sanya crossing point, Nadimeli River area, and even Yenga. Also we get the issue relating to we and Guinea. Then we get class C crossing points.
And Yenga na Pengu Bengu na dena di.
Pengu Bengu na
dena di checkpoints.
Yes, and they are the checkpoint.
Less equipped.
Less, yes. Well, less
and less manned
activities.
As well.
Less activities they happen there. Now we could classify a class B crossing point. Because the volume of activities that happen there, we compare out to what they happen now. For example, Gwalamuya or Jendema as the case may be. They will get class C crossing points. They were on footpaths mostly. Sometimes the people and they use bikes or costly, or sometimes the people and they use foot for go across the countries. If you go now in a place like Bomaru, you get that kind of thing there, almost on a daily basis. For some people within Liberia and Navajo, for example, on a daily basis in a salon. And the one within a salon on that as on a daily basis, they crisscross go Liberia and that kind of thing. Whilst that not the case for all of the countries within the sub-region, the reality is that they get for exist because then people in the old talk so we deal at inside them. Now almost one and the same people. Borders they say the talk about so now colonial inheritances. Before colonialism, we don't be getting kind demarcations. We mean say now with man and can Shibui and that kind of thing. That's not bad because the Shibui we able to recognize themselves as people and we belong to a particular geographical location. So what thing they happen with we now the same case with the countries that we border with. Apart from the borders that we get now the land, now the air, we also get the one in the sea. We border na the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm thinking the volume of activities that they happen under, they not only they concentrate na Wataki, we get places like Bangbatuk, we get places like Tumbo, we get several other places, even Godrich, Suleiman. Both go come out from one country in the world and can go straight onto the side. We get na Bohoi, na Bont district,
or
Shenge, as the case may be, or Kata, all of this, or even a plantain. So if you look at all of the realities, them, it tell you say now a huge volume of activities. For this reason, whilst yes, the internal primacy in terms of security rests at the police hand, the military, by section 165 of the Constitution, now is responsible for protecting the territorial integrity of the country. So over the period, as a country, structures and they, where they work towards border security. Most often, like I say, you have to actually create borders them for impress on people in mind. That's an area for Paso. If you have for Kanami host, for example, Domotidi, if you go past through the window or you go past through the back door, then it means you get some other intentions we make you know one for pass to the other side. And again, the point ought to be made say, not to true say all illegal activities that happen on man crossing points. Yes, all illegal activities that happen there, but they also equally happen na crossing points and we manned.
Like that Zambian lady where they arrest at airport, for example.
Airports, yeah, na man border, class A crossing points. People away they into criminality. No matter which structures we put in place, they will always want for tests.
Smuggle cocaine inside big bean steam.
Inside big bean steams. So you can imagine that. So you go on for acts, how we able to discover that one day. It means that we get lens way sharper than ion. In things say you don't protect everything and that kind of thing. Only for the way soap in and not to in one. Several other one forensic collie. The way they display just on the screen. These have been Guinean where they can cross with cocaine using gendema. They come in and present itself as a pregnant woman. We will for detect them. So, whilst the rogue elements and they make every effort for beat the systems, waiting for be very much concerning at the fact that you get structures in place, waiting for detect them bad behavior them, and continue for impress. Like I agree with my brother, for ensure say the requisite training continuously go be provided for the people the way they man them border them. Because the rogue elements them, they want for beat the system, then they develop skills and we go 10 times ahead of the structures.
So let's talk a little about this lady. So when I mean this cocaine way also a pasulam in Pampas and a rapper.
Yeah,
the seasons like Pampas.
Good. Yes, I baby Pampas them. Baby Pampas them. He pasul all of the thing them. He rapper na imbele. He do I call them sellotape. He rapper na imbele and that kind of thing. What you see are no more. Ordinarily, you feel this na bele. You go even for sorry for that. You don't have to subject them to any check and that kind of thing. But we became suspicious and say no, this one na bele woman. But let woman go check them for confirm say indeed na bele woman. Because in activities, in movement, in and out of the border, it been become very more suspicious and worrying. And what they do border security, we know they only do security based on information what we they collect on ground. We also they rely on information where they come out from, we counterpart them. So some thinking, for example, if a vehicle, they come out from Guinea, for can transit through Sierra Leone and go to Liberia. If we suspect say something they were fishy, by the ECOWAS protocol, we vehicle don't load na Guinea, and they actually go na Liberia. All we for be interested in na the taxation we they for pay. The manifest wouldn't declare based on what's in enter na Guinea. Now we come say do your value whatever, then they pay we own tax. But if we think say we a little suspicious of this vehicle, we can communicate on to the destination country. Because if you see every vehicle where they pass, where they transit in your country, if you check 100%, then you are going to hinder trade. And by the ECOWAS protocol for the free movement of goods and services, any country where they do that one day, they in breach of that protocol. However, if you suspect, say, something they win of a security interest, not only to owner, but also to the host country or to the recipient country, they communicate on your counterpart. And that make cross-border cooperation, coordination among the various state agencies then. Now, either of the states very, very crucial, because not only that one day go make on for chapter rogue elements then. So we can communicate that one day. Now that make it find out, but could say they say, but this motocar don't come pass from Guinea, you don't come pass Balabuya, you don't come pass Gendema, then they go kitchen and Liberia. Now there's circumstances that can lead to that one day.
And then look at this Zambian national. For example, this cocaine where them parcel inside Big Beans tin. This Big Beans tin.
Yeah.
This is not to the airport.
Yes.
To the airport.
To the airport, yeah.
So all of these don't they happen? Perhaps at a time where you go say, Honorable, you agree with me, say Sierra Leoneans don't become aware. The awareness don't do now.
Yes, sir.
Say, Lord begin check with self. So you'd imagine the tender way this drug business not be done rife yet. Imagine since 2008, where it don't go down. Now only quite recently it surface again, and Sierra Leoneans don't become this aware. So imagine all these years with the awareness not be done rife na Sierra Leone and the idiot. How much of this don't they pass through we, or don't they come into the country unchecked as a result of what the Honorable say, for example, poorly equipped or not equipped at all, and then poorly manned, and the other challenges as well, and then crossing points, and there are over 800 of them.
Yeah. So it's concerning. That's the reason we step up the efforts in terms of not only manning, but even beyond manning the designated crossing points. The military and the police, they do joint patrols. But you don't go say that and they enough. They don't go say that and they don't create barrier. And that make the mode of operation and forget every community person involved. The side that will say soldier man not come, say for 1 or 2 days in terms of the joint border patrols. We impress on the local authorities them, whether not town chief they do, whether not village chief they do, whether not the powerman chief or the youth leaders, everybody will occupy that space there. For maker in business, for report any suspicious activity. That is if inside not the part of them.
But they take it as an opportunity for make money like we will talk about this now, because then say the only means of survival are that way they.
Yeah, so
without smuggling or doing their illicit activities.
Yeah, so you mean the means of survival for individual, not for supersede the interest of the country.
But not to say they have
because at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I make one statement where I say we get work for involve the community peoples then within their respective crossing points there, for bring them on board. And
but how they go be difficult, extremely, almost
difficult,
impossible.
but only for bring them on board. For create an avenue, we are in a particular way of employment. We are in itself go consider say it's a responsibility on them for make sure say they communicate things here. But other than that, they just say and say it means for like they continue for get money. So they don't care for communicate of any danger where they can.
So as it is right now, Nadandi they prevail. Then they not get any alternative means of survival. Then just rely on these
yes,
things.
Yes, that's because they involve them. Let them take note of them crossing points here. Then even the other challenge we will notice, even this intermittent checking, where they go patrols and all. Trust me, even funding for FLM, they struggle with them. They struggle for get fear for let they go do for go do them check here. So really the resource not despite they make mention of the resources where despite of all of those leakages where the immigration sector able for generate, they know they get the funding for like they even go do the various wholesale where I make mention of.
So they make money, they
not get the
money for
resource. Exactly, and that's how they say. Imagine for Lekki raise over 146 billion olios just in 2024. Over 80 billion from January to August. All of the leakage here. When you close the leakage, they trust me, the state could make more. So what did the state for do? That for ensure say they empower them so that they will be effective in their function. Just like how me border out for more NSC. Yes, not true say no country not in the world man all them crossing point there. That's not true. But let us make efforts. Let us involve those
although the late Gaddafi been cancelled one time and say salon too small for the able fence salon. You remember that period?
Yeah.
So you got for put
but
the
really
inside water as well.
The lab system too much. The lab system too much. So as a nation, I think of a brace up. Of course, the security personnel, people in there, but the manpower from both the police, the military, where they look then crossing points here, and not too much. Even the one who they do the patrol, they not get the necessary equipment then. So let the states give them what they really need for make sure so they be effective in their duty, so that we as a people will be safe.
Abdulkarim.
Yeah, so indeed it's challenging. Anybody will deny that one day, they deny the reality. But in the midst of all of the challenges, the problems, efforts are being made very vigorously. We don't sign up to a communique with neighboring Guinea. The same thing we don't sign up with Liberia. We they go endorse that one day. Today we they go na bow, but we get that kind of engagement because we think say if people in the common saloon and crisscross borders between Salone and Liberia and do bad things, if we seek the support of Liberia, they self-rely on the support. They'll go make either of the communities as a very uncomfortable zones for them people and for thrive in their activities. Beyond that one day, before now, during the immediate aftermath of the war, we will get the establishment of the Joint Border Security and Confidence Building Units. They one and they now being committees units we get people drawn from various government agencies, civil society institutions, na Salone and Liberia as a case be. Intermittent when I can hold meeting here, when I go hold meeting here for discuss ordinarily between what they happen within that particular axis. Now be the same thing between we and Guinea. But over time, we get challenged. Currently, we work also on them in collaboration with the Mano River Union for ensure we reactivate them. Because them joint border security and confidence building unit, they help a lot for deter criminality across them borders and they. Beyond also that day, we get the chiefdom security committees. Now all of the border chiefdoms the chiefdoms we border between Salone and Guinea, the chiefs of we border between Sierra Leone and Liberia. And beyond that, we even establish also what we call focal points. Because even though some chiefdoms they not go there directly sharing boundary with either of the countries, but because of the activities that happen, and then chiefdom then the chances they say it would ordinarily impact security na Salone or insecurity na Liberia and vice versa as a case may be. So indeed, it's a challenging thing, and they seek support from the local authorities, from chiefdom people, from people who reside in the ordinary villages, who actually share a boundary within communities, so side and lake between Salone and Liberia. That will say, for example, even Yenga, we go as far as Sokoma. Where in Sokoma, the mosques na Nongowa. If the imam they pray there, you sit down at veranda, you pray with them. Because every syllable we read in the area as loud as me into the talk. So it tells you the proximity, the closeness between them people and them. And the same thing like if you go to Gambia, between Gambia and Salone, some side in the where you turn your backyard, you dey inside Guinea. The same thing, the spots in Guinea in front door, and inside Salone. So intermarriages, cross-border activities, cultural ties, they're very, very far where don't exist between them people and they. So you go only one for sure say, you give them the impression. Say, yeah, where you there so? You there as a Sierra Leonean. You get a responsibility for opening your eye for activities when they happen there. But again, the points what we need for make, Now the fact say, if not to some of the people that we reside, now decide them, they condone the activity, or they say they panam, it's difficult for it to continue to happen. Here we know that there's some causing points in the way they far away from villages or towns.
Well, you heard the head of CID earlier, Honorable Yam, say, for example, there's a foreign national where bribe some airport staff them $20,000. Obviously, if we don't get the assurance from in-house, a foreign national, they not be for fair for penalties.
Okay, with the system.
I say, if which manable you watch on their foot.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. So now that make it would emphasize the point, see, we all get a responsibility.
So even as we talk about then over 800 causing point a day, the one they win at the legal one, them first of all, seem much more porous than the one they win on man.
So, well, I'll go back for a little differ because the level of interdictions, what we don't do, now all of them side in there, it only means say the rogue elements. The reason we make cooking,
especially the pathway,
yeah,
the rogue elements, because then they use them for contempt you and pass through.
Yes.
Because if they use the other points them, we're seemingly much more dangerous, and they not get that kind of assurance of waiting will happen. Then go rather use the legal means and find way for bribe people inside the system.
I agree. So people, the reason we make organized criminality and one way dangerous, and the fact that the people who they interam, they know the systems, they know who they for reach, and they get the resources. Then are the first thing where they get as an advantage over themselves. And whilst you don't provide all of the requisite training, general training, you give the skills to everybody, where you give a responsibility for can provide security for a country based on the mandate, based on the oath you don't take. You don't also go vouch for them because you never know waiting in your motive. Because some people they will go there, and me go can they, now this and they pay me, then this person don't offer me this money.
Exactly.
We will take thousands of years and not see. But it get risk. It get implications. Because at the end of the day, let we say, you allow somebody, the open gate for somebody, we come in and bring something into your country, and that thing they actually can consume the country, including you yourself.
Or you became.
Or you became. Or members of your family. They can't it happen so. If somebody now can be, because somebody they want for cow tramadol, you know, saying a very dangerous substance, they can use small money for your own personal benefit, for your own selfish ends, you allow them for come inside, then it come and pollute your community. You might be a victim of that your activity there, either directly or indirectly. So whilst we do the necessary things and that make as a sector, we get a zero tolerance posture in compromises. When somebody do that one day, then people who you mentioned so, either at the airport or some other areas, people in uniform, they have been brought to book. They have been named and shamed. They have been portrayed in public for say, we not condone this kind of thing when they happen. No. If somebody, you there within the sector, you know the gatekeeper, you only but for do that gatekeeping. If the gatekeeper becomes a rogue, then it's a problem for people who are inside the house there. So the sector leadership get a zero tolerance posture to anybody who they do things the way they undermine the peace of not only we own country, but even the security of other countries. Because peace in Salone, now peace in Liberia. War in Liberia, now war in Sierra Leone, and vice versa. So now that make we welcome that development with the Inspector General of Police for Liberia and in comping them. Then we can meet the Inspector General of Police for Sierra Leone and get concrete arrangements. Amongst other things, they discuss how they for strengthen bilateral relationships. So that the rogue elements who want for siphon, who want for bypass systems and do things away wrong, we for find way for counter them. And that means we go get joint trainings, we go exchange information, we go do joint investigations. If somebody do something as Alonia, when organized criminality, they run go hide in Guinea, Liberia or Guinea, they go able for help with for investigating kind of people in it. Especially we get for do with drug dealing. We get for do with seeing we go hamburging the country in instability. So and over the period we don't enjoy that kind of bilateral relationship there. We only continue for appeal. We were there at the sector. That's why we get a sacred responsibility. The reason we call ourselves as security people are because a country don't bestow a responsibility upon we. We for do nothing but that one day. we for maintain that kind of thing or even improve on we level of vigilance. Because we do so not to based on not to favor what they do. We do so because it is what we have signed up for.
We're
supposed to do.
Honorable, this then probably also not a new one. Not a new one. I think that we don't span various administrations. Since after independence. Don't have the Magai administration, the Shaka Stephen administration, the Momo Tijan Kaba, MPRC Tijan Kaba, and as Mike Homa, and now Julius Madabio administration. And we not like they see hope, say this will end anytime shortly. With all of them challenge there, so what they talk about, so what they are, so not like hope with it.
Yeah, over time, like you say, over time, the costing point before then, it not be there up to 800. But as the years they come by, and so people they continue for discover some of them costing points here, which means now the responsibility will be there. Probably 10, 15 years back, it don't increase. So for continue now for put things in place for see how we face some of them responsibility here. One, few years back, you watch the workforce within immigration, it will less. But now when they don't increase them, it's still not enough for like you face the challenge the way they. So which means say we need for employ more staff for face the challenge here. Which means say we forget a collaboration between the immigration sector, the ONS, Sierra Leone police, and the military for ensure say we face the challenge here way they. Like you rightly say, these are not new things. They have been there. But now we continue for collaborate. Then respective institutions, now we make sure say we empower them. Then we make sure say they get the resource we required for make sure say they face the challenge here. Because the challenge are always there. And they be done the day. Like I say, as the year they increase, now so people they always they look for avenues there wherein they go continue for beat the system. So why is then the target for beat the system? Let the institution, the government put things in place for make sure say they for combat. Yeah, not keep beyond 100%, but at least now we increase the effort. Probably here's up to 70%. But as you now, trust me, the effort would be way below 30% for make way for protect to borders them and for give the education to the people already in charge for make sure say they look after our borders them.
So as of now, as immediate remedy, what you will for do as a country?
Immediate remedy for now, we need to increase the workforce.
That's the primary target.
Yes, that's a primary target. I'm telling you, over 800 crossing points, only 41 we get staff of immigration staff. Over 800, only 41 gets immigration staff.
So you get like
so basically, we're so vulnerable, so open. So one thing first, let us get the staff. Let's get the manpower. Secondly, let we get the education for citizens within the respective border crossing points here. Let them get this education. Let them understand their role as citizen. Let them understand how important it be. And let them as well understand the danger we mean if you help other person work out thing way harmful to the nation. Let them get their education again. Let's get them involved. And like this, even manpower they talk of, say for let them increase the workforce. Sometimes it's important, even the employment, let them not just take free time. Let them involve the one they within at the respective crossing point there. Let them recruit them, train them, and educate them. On
the aspects of education, Honorable Abdul Karim, you work Kenema and Kailao, respectively, for some time. That aspect and part of your work, not being for help sensitize and educate people that are in there about security matters. That aspect of education, they not help. Hence, we continue to get these same challenges around security issues, border security issues. So, this aspect of education, how you going for help with? So,
for educate person one, for let the person take the education in Bible now other thing.
Well, not start, not just educate.
Yes, and I want for state say we they make considerable efforts, conscious efforts for ensure say we put education into them communities and they outside people and ordinarily decide who call borders. But then it will become more viable, meaningful to the person where really not the part of the syndicate. If the person is part of the syndicate, you carry talk from point A to point B, it will fall on deaf ears. Much don't go happen because at the end of the day, now like you throw water and a dog's back. And
most often people are scared because they're not seeing for they get the protection of the security forces.
Well, so
some often in fact are the security forces then they see like threats where they're part of the entire syndicate or scheme.
So
we make often most of them come forward and then report, but because of who that they involved, they are scared.
It's not supposed to be an excuse because we don't create avenues. We say they report something any side, nobody will detect you. So I'm thinking even the part of the syndicate and give information for bust out that syndicate. I tell you, it don't happen. Boku where somebody, where them perceive say these are part of we, actually come out and give information. Several toll-free lines a day. Several toll-free lines a day. You don't need for pay for them. You don't need for hala saying a midwam. You don't need for even identify your location. Just report say, are the suspects say this kind of thing they happen. We get, for example, the National Situation Room toll-free line when a 119. Any part of Sierra Leone you dey, you came for call and report say, na poge bendu, na XYZ they happen though. In fact, this person wanna put for man this border, then they aid illegal activities. We will get that information there, and action will be taken for correct that kind of situation there. And that also states say that the more you strengthen borders, USA you man, now the more you get the tendency for let people and open other one them. And even if you,
but Salon has small country, even if they continue to open new ones,
even if you say you now put boots them, now all of the 800 crossing point, most of the one they already talk to, now classic crossing point. So now it's in a footpath. You know they for use motor car for crossing. If you put people in there, tomorrow the other people and when a rogue element, they go behind that. So the spread will continue. However, one thing will go intensify. I agree with Honorable. Now the fact say community sensitization and community involvement into the activities. Let them feel say they own up their own security. Because if they allow all things to happen, maybe, just maybe, if things can go bad, now then go be the first people that will be impacted on account of that activities where they allow for happen. So, and when the country lost resources, needed resources for development, for bringing development onto them, now they go be impacted negatively. When the country they're in a situation where people and they bring in drugs and they carry drugs out of the country, now we picking them. Then they will become vulnerable. And when that happen, the country in future go bleak. Because them picking and they were supposed to can't take after people already in leadership, they will become weak academically, or they're not going for compete with the rest of the world. But when that happen, there it means say the country in development in the future is at stake.
Speaking of people and assurance for intelligence, often the police or ONS security personnel that they give assurance to the public say call reports. Well, we get anonymous ways of reporting. The one way we already see clearly, not seem for the born good picking. The issue of your slide decals, for example, or Umar Sharif as the police say, that only they forget. Since, for example, the report in day one as alone, I don't see an upscale of all the activity there, so it will not seem to don't do, yes, it will not seem to don't do much about the situation till date. Till date, Salon they struggle with the government of the Netherlands, whether at the person, whether not to him, whether for repatriatum, not for repatriatum, and all of this. So with the assurance.
So I remember I say the IGP, no less a person that the IGP within the public and assure the public say the police they investigate that matter vigorously, and when they get the required and concrete information for the public, or can inform the public. I think I don't need much I can talk about that particular matter there. But I tell you, beyond that one day, people already report to them channels who I don't mention so. Then they do so effectively. In fact, that they aid with operations currently in terms of busting out criminal networks. Recently, the court don't indict, don't convict 10 key people for their involvement into criminality. Other one, then they will undergo investigations. And then 10 people are involved, both Sierra Leoneans and foreign nationals, Liberians, Guineans.
Last Thursday, Justice Mageba sentenced one Liberian Adressa.
Yeah.
So is it 20 years imprisonment?
30
years imprisonment.
Yes.
For trafficking drugs.
Yes. Then Zainab Donzo.
Yes.
Okay, 20 years.
20 years. Zainab Donzo.
Zainab Donzo. He sentenced her to 20 years. And apart from Zainab, several other ones, and they when foreign nationals, we get the Sierra Leoneans them. We get this Nigerian Newton Johnson, he get 30 years. We get Habib Dieng. Habib Dieng, a joint Guinean and Belgian national. He said at the airport to be in Nabam, where they attend for smuggle cocaine out of using the airport. Wherever I get the cocaine, only God knows. So several of the convictions, they don't happen. And then when they happen on account of public information, including the intelligence structures who don't set in place. The Special Security Task Force, which government set, now one way they up and running all over the place. And over the period, hundreds of communities don't be raided. A lot of inroads don't be made. Now that make we thankful that because the efforts they get for be collaborative onto the tail end. From the tail end, get the information. Somebody give information, you go into action. You get something out of that information you get. You arrest, for example, the task force, they hand over to police. Police for do their own, for investigate and charge to court. The courts now the last point. For say either the person guilty or not guilty. If he's guilty, then send him and give him the appropriate punishment. But over the period, after that pronouncement, we see the Chief Justice be appoint 7 judges and committee only for look at things that we get for do with drug issues or organized criminality. You also, in addition, get 4 magistrates because then case the most often they can go under PI, preliminary investigation, and then commit them to High Court. We see they don't yield a lot of dividend, like I say, as at the time where I talk so. Now 10 major convictions end up being done. And all of the sentences range from the least we'll get now 15 years. We'll get 15, 30, 31, 15. Okay, I take 10 years, we'll get 31, 20 as the case may be. So then people in there, if you look at the evidences against them, they're so overwhelming that you go but only one for commit them into that kind of conviction day. So that it will serve as deterrence, not only for them we don't commit them, but also the people we think say now the only way of life that one day. Because even as they speak so, people are still in our communities where they deal in them drugs them. Because for people where they're into drug dealing, until you catch up with them, they will still want for continue to do the activity there. Now that make we call on members of the communities. That then people who they sell get drugs so and picking them. They know they do so like in the sky. They know to spirit them. Now human beings within our communities, human beings within our houses. If you suspect that one, they call 119 or 117 for report that kind of activity. We will go there and we'll go apprehend any kind of people. Right. The one that we don't arrest, the list long. The one that we don't arrest, where they undergo investigation, being awaiting for the process for sent into jail. They're also there. They will go for CAM.
Okay. 072-500-442. Now the number you will call, we and join the conversation. We'll talk about the security of your border crossing. Parliament don't say, according to them survey, according to them study, or according to their oversight, they identify over 800 crossing points across the country, stretching from Cambia, Tonkolili, Bombali, Falaba, Koinadugu, Tonkolili, Kono, Kailaon, Kenema, Pujeon, and the rest. 072-500-442, the number for call. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Alusai from Bullfields.
Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
Yes. I see them 2 gentlemen, they talk about crossing points them. Well, not just say a lot about Balabuya, for about Geneman. But because you point them, what makes you say that they bypass? Also immigration and Sidonde, like Saria, like Boom, like Pujo, Black Kailaun area. You see like Yenga, you see like Dar es Salaam. One thing with the immigration official on their side, they encourage them. They don't get us for sleep. Now what kind of work can get back? I will be somebody where they smuggle. You don't get back, you don't get incentive. Now go see Guinea immigration and the immigration staff them. Where they crossing point, they get fire water, they get sardine, they supply them, they supply everything. But one people there like Sadia from Kamakuri to Sadia about 39 miles.
Hello?
You see, they encourage the immigration officer already.
Okay.
So I don't do the work. The last time I talk about them people, them community people, them. That is a bad passing the team. Then they get the smuggler themselves. They don't come when they come. All right, we catch it on.
All right, thank you very much. 072-500-442. And one will tie that with the image that we see already, with the kind of deployable condition under which 10 people have, for example, they live. Imagine such people, this Nayenga village. Abukai, I'm sure you're aware.
Yes,
you know, them people are. Then the town chief and family, for example, Nayenga villages. Imagine this kind of condition under which they live, and somebody want for smuggle items into Salon through that point. What do you expect? Anyways, 072-500-442. We get a caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, boss.
Yes.
Yep, I do.
Thank God. Where did you call from?
Concerning this drugs issue, you know, Johnny Mob, they talk from Sexy.
All right, go on, sir.
This drugs issue, therefore, they don't tackle them since. And so we, just like how we brought out Benadi, they talk, say, community people, there will be no a big means that will face here. If not that, problem not there. We get for they send names them, we get for they prosecute people, if at all, then go to the law. They're waiting. I will know the one that most of them, when I elderly people inside the government, and justify that. When are the young people and the cow this push. But thank God to the we border within where they say they ask the community people or prosecute people.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. 072-500-442, that's the number for Colby. Or you can go to Facebook page, and Slick TV Facebook page, and then join the conversation. Drop your comments, we'll flow with the conversation there. 072-500-442. I get Honorable Mahmoud Kamara, a member of Parliament for the Western Area and part of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Internal Affairs, and Abdul Karim Will, we're the Strategic Communications Director, Office of National Security. We'll discuss the issue of border crossing points, where according to Parliament, we had over 800 of them across the country. And then poorly manned, less equipped, and so much other challenges according to them, where they say need some urgent attention. So quickly, why do they expect so much more calls? Abdul Karim Will and Honorable, is then concerned and they more or less?
I think one of the concerns we come in, now they all get for do these immigration officers or we not available na some frame points. Yeah. I think this is now one of the things I don't make mention of. See, even the infrastructure not there for them.
Yeah.
Even if you send the immigration officer, now some of them crossing points here, the infrastructure not do for host them. They not get site for sleep. They not get office for for do their work.
Honorable, hold on. We got a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Salia. Good morning to all. Let God bless you now.
Amen.
You know the problem I not tell you like one great problem we get with because all this drug, idleness, and people that love money pass the country, and then drug dealers there. We say you smart, then smart pass you. We don't get all this kind of problem there. Look, this could be them, colleges. There is some big money. This drug guy. Yes, you get money, but the money, they damage your confidence. And to be honest, you have now one great side for tackle. Like that man where they talk for government, so. But then SSF deal within the government, police, soldier, talk to them. I do man or man will not get money when they bring drugs to this country. This drug is a money business. And just like other man, they say, it damage yourself, but because of money, you don't want to know what they happen.
Okay.
So really, to be honest, men talk to the soldier there, talk to the police there, talk to the big man there. I mean, men seriously say this is not good.
All right.
Poverty, joblessness.
Thank you very much. 072-500-442, the number for call. We enjoy the conversation. We'll take a couple of calls more. Honorable, point.
Just like I would say, this is not a huge challenge. It gets for do with resources as well. I think I don't make mention of that one day. Imagine them patrol people they short of fuel. So how serious would really they for actually look after their vehicles in point here?
So an institution that generates over 140
in a single year. An institution where they generates over 146 billion all use in a single year.
And
no
not
for
and then for use part of that resources.
they no for put offices na then crossing point here. They no for make provision for the staff they already send, also for sleep and then crossing point here. They no for provide the patrol team with fuel sufficient enough for ensure say they do them patrol at crisscross. So just see to me, I dey see like the seriousness for we as a state. Only for them. So me they ask now that the state will foresee this one as an emergency for ensure say we provide the necessary things the way them people need for make them be effective in their work, so that we as a people could be safe. As a nation, we go aid them right up there with pride against say yes. The image where this country don't dent, you don't able for put them together again. Until we do them things here, the challenge will always be open for we.
Africa,
I mean, are they in for support to all of the agencies, including immigration or the one they get put boots on the ground? Because if anybody probably paid attention to I think category of the one them, because are the front runners, I think are the front line, and they do the day-to-day activities. And most of them, the work they do very unpleasant. Because they did in harsh conditions and all of that one.
Spend their nights.
Spend their nights in the cold and that kind of in the end. People away they into criminality, into do anything, forget their way into what they do. So we will continue for making advocacy them. But we get the Integrated Border Security Committee, where they be hosted by the Office of National Security. That committee, they meet all of the term for discuss issues around border security. The information who they get who they get it will be one for relay back, so that it will inform with interventions. Because it's important that we protect the borders. Protecting the border is not only about the country integrity. It will mean say you're going for harness the required resources for support the various programs the government gets for the betterment of the people. It will mean say you're going for block leakages in terms of people who go out for do smuggling in and out of the country. You go also for detect people who go out for counterfeit products into the country. Because some thinking, whilst we want goods, but not to every good you go want in your country. Because some good day, instead of resolving the people's problem, you will create more problems. Let us say, for example, people who smuggle drugs, even if not to prohibited drugs. You bring in counterfeit Panadol, for example, or they syrup them. We don't expire and that kind of thing. So if you only get a situation who side the officers and they, and side the officers and all they, but with people and they, and other people and they can't cause. They able to detect them kind of thing and report to the relevant authorities. And for particularly appeal to bike riders, because then are the conduit smugglers and can use very easily.
Sometimes they don't even know.
For do their activities. So some thinking they, yes, and go no, but some thinking they also know. Because you for ask questions. Not only about the money they come to you, you for be concerned about. You also for be able for ask the relevant questions, or even say they bring campus in. If you're suspicious that in activities with the now rogue element, you can take the money in hand and also report them without knowing. Now you could say call 119 and report them kind of activities and they. Because it's fine for you. It's fine for the country. If somebody they come, he load your bike or you load on your bike, you don't evade all of the tax situation. They come into the country. When the country go bad, it go directly affect you as a person, even when you right? Because you go and forget an atmosphere all conducive, a country peacefully stable. For let you do your bike riding. If that did not happen, then you even your bike riding not go be meaningful at all.
Okay.
So we agree that indeed the personnel the way they and then side them for be empowered, they for be given the skills. If you have forget the best farmer, they get for getting the tools for them for do the farming well. If you don't get the required tools, not to in hand them, be a handsome, you go use for till as well. You get for getting the equipment you need for them for do in work and do it effectively, including in welfare. So we continue for push for that one day, and then committees them either at the national level, the Integrated Border Security Committee. Now then discussions here, now they overwhelm. Then we committee them. How we go for strength with borders, waiting for do for we officers them, we then at them border crossing point, so that they're not going to be vulnerable to compromise.
Because at this moment,
because if you, although that not to excuse for say, hey, they know they pay me better, they know they wait, and therefore I for take bribe, I for look the other way bad things they happen. But the chances they say that one they
go
happen.
Go and live a better life.
Yes.
We're not going to live a better life. If, for example, you post somebody in a Pengu Bengu, we risky to the Guinean military situation, and then poorly equipped, you are aware, you know what's in the happen there. Look, the structural sieges now, outside the immigration people in the Sidom. Not to any outside anybody who want for laying family good day, for example. And then you see an opportunity where they give you fast money, even though risky. Life generally, there's a risk. Why you not go take up?
Well, some risk they agree, say life and risk, but some risk they will know what taking. If somebody would tell me, say, jump from that 3-story building and drop under, because the only way that you get for escape this kind of thing, like how Mr. Yusuf Sisedu, where we get information on, I'm saying, he deal in drugs in his house. He claimed 3-story building and take that risk and jump. He foot broke. So I agree that we need to improve on the conditions. But we, now the security sector, we come, you know the conditions under which they can't take the employment. You vouch for serve your country in whatever circumstance. Whilst they push for let conditions be improved, get good pay, get the required resources for the outside and they at a particular point. But compromising no go be an excuse on account of poor conditions when it happen outside you did. Because if you do that one, you're going to betray your cause. You're going to betray the very oath you take as a personnel. But over the period, we must commend that we get officers that we don't make a lot of sacrifices, huge sacrifices, that they did it away from their families, in the cold, in difficult situations. Whilst when they sleep, then they up and running. They keep watch over what they happen. Day one and day, we go only do much for support them, for let we keep them alive. Because whilst and day and there, people will get families. And then families, they all days on 10 kidding at the bigger towns. And then they look up to. If they get opportunity, if they get way for able to take care of not only themselves but also their family, then they will be comfortable enough for do the work they're supposed to do. So we they push for that one day. Now that make the various committees and we don't be set up, the chiefdom security committees, whether on the focal committees, the intention for reactivate the joint border security and confidence building unit. Now for a short say, then platforms them, then kind of concerns them where we the raise so. Now for discuss them and cascade the information in the day to the relevant authorities so that we know we'll get a situation outside the joint border patrol units between the military and the police go short of fuel, whether they go point A to point B, whether they crisscross the areas where they're supposed to cross. Because it's important that they get the resources. Now only the resources they go push them. Some of the border crossing points when they talk them. Non-passable ones so you get for talk
I will take this call quickly. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I call from UK. Nina, who's friends? I just want to ask a comment where the ONS man say, we didn't tell about the cocaine, about somebody say, they don't know, not only God knows who side he pull the cocaine. For arrest them and convict them, okay, then I want thing, but what you mean the question here, now regarding what they don't do for probe further, because police then get what they call 1 to 24/7, that Interpol, that is Central Bureau, where they can get information within the share. And they also get the early warning center where the VP did not open, where ECOWAS sponsor. But how far that they go do? Because it's just a case of arresting the person, convinced I go, or we not go do further investigation for no. Because if person come out of the country, can a salon, he pull on a salon, they go out, there must be a source. Whether for source can bring them and I go. But what are the police putting in place? Because of some of these structures, they don't give them to them by Interpol and even the other areas then for investigate. Now then get the password for log into that particular thing before share information and see whose information will be waiting then will do further whose security will be. Who guarantee the transparency of investigation in that country day. But in other words, how are they using these tools? Not just for hold the surface areas. What are they using these tools for? That's not the question. You know, so like a big challenge at the borders. But there are other ways, like spending money on having what is called drones just to surveillance, because in broad areas within borders and very porous. It's a matter of investment in writing projects and bringing money and using the right side. Because if you look at that alley one in center, we did up now, and a hill station somewhere, where ECOWAS spent, how much do they benefit the situation we would experience now? That's not the question. Then therefore go back on the drawing board. Thank you so much. Let God help the nation. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Abdul Karim?
Yeah,
Before you respond, thank you very much. Before you respond to that, Abdul Rahman Bangura on our Facebook page say the fight must continue to protect the image of our lovely nation. Abdullah Dura Bangura say job well done. And you get Henry Kangaju say may God protect una, make Satan not go able una. And you get Jethro Johnson we say 700? Seriously? These are concerns, Abdul Karim.
Unmanned crossing point footpaths, class C crossing
Oh,
points.
glory make and clear. I did before the public.
Yes.
Now over 800.
Over 800.
Even who come, I agree where you said the present
Say
say
over
over
700.
700.
So you know, don't
After we don't do oversights, now over 800 crossing points in this country. But the 800 over the 800 crossing points within the country, now only 41 we get immigration
Personnel.
staff.
Immigration
Only 41.
personnel.
Yes, only 41. Over the 800 now, only 41 get staff for check what they come in, what they go out, and all of those.
I make this possible to say,
Over
seriously?
800.
Yeah.
Are we kidding?
So
As a country?
So
Meaning,
So why is we-
would they not go in?
so why is we looking?
I talk, I say the rest now go the mercy.
So I think say the figures appear very alarming, and that are the situation. But it don't necessarily mean say because people are not doing all of them are illegal activities they happen. Yes, the chance is there. Say because of the unmanned nature, somebody go out for can do some things and we wrong. But I also make the point Jesus say, not to always the case that illegal activities they take place are unmanned crossing points. Some of them crossing points are what they talk about. So now class C crossing points are footpaths.
Or crossing a crossing.
Yeah, crossing are crossing. Because
And that is a threat to the nation.
yeah, and don't forget, see, if you get 800 crossing points between Salone and Guinea and between Salone and Liberia, it means see, that other side back get the same kind situation. Because wherever you now get a situation outside, this crossing points
At the same line.
Not the same line. It means you hand back no man.
Yes, there's a pause.
Let's have get the similar challenges today. So that make we working together.
Yeah.
Would then contribute.
Sorry for interrupt you. Yes, a person will get the same crossing points, but who knows what Guinea puts in place? So probably Guinea then puts people in place and then point in there. But
So we cross and then they nab you.
yes, but we only get 41. So we don't know what Guinea puts in place. What Liberia puts in place for ensure say the checkmate, the one they want for use their side in there. So we don't know. So we concerned for Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
We concern specifically, let us concern about our borders. In as much as we do the collaboration between Sierra Leone, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, let the concern be we.
So
Don't
because
increase
you don't
manpower.
know what your neighbor
We don't know what they put in place. So we only don't put in place 41 people. 41
Which is scary.
out of 800.
Sitting here, I imagine. Yes.
So, Brother Salia, we finally will situate the conversation well. That we get crossing points, then they into categories.
Yeah,
And these are the standard.
they're crossing a crossing.
A crossing.
And they all get threats.
But let's say, for example, you don't go compare now activities that happen at the sea front. Say, for example, Godrich. They will say they happen at Wataki. Because Godrich will go even for accommodate a ship. So take it, not even a trawler. So because of the structure that we put in place now, Wataki, you get huge volume of activities in terms of people going and coming into the country. Most of the people really even come with cargo into
So look,
Sierra
this
Leone.
is research, for example, we've been sway to Hamilton Beach, where in fact we water, even according to reports, much more porous than even the land border.
Of course, you don't say by the nature of the sea, the activities that happen, they are much more, even more intense than what they happen.
Now we buy patrol vessel, Ibrahim Koroma SIK vessel, where the military is supposed for the use. Now being under Captain Ali Momodu Patwe as Minister of Fisheries at the time. Right now, so they speak so like we honorable say, immigration it generates last year, for example, over
146 billion oleos for 2024.
Then they generate, but then they use that money for POAM for let them generate much more. Right now, as we talk to now, according to reports, SIK is grounded and not they make patrol.
So thankfully, Honorable, they appropriate funds for institutions.
Luckily, other side. Yes, normally, when budget take come parliament, we can only able to add 5% or deduct 5%. So we are limited. Like when budget they don't present, in particular ministry, department, agency don't present their budget, we for one for the following year. Parliament can only add 5% or we deduct 5%. So you watch them, if you don't come very small, and most of it's already prepare the budget here, they do it in consultation with the Ministry of Finance of which is available. The best way they can forget them. So if you don't come before we now for approval and vetted, we can able for only add 5%
or reduce
for that particular or reduce 5%.
So your hands aside.
So it tells you that the owners they again on the institution, the agency, now they put your cards on the table. What it is that I need. Yes, immigration and other agencies, and they generate a lot of funds. But then funds they go into the consolidated fund, and then they go there as a funds when you don't get them, and so
they then spend them back for you.
For you, no. So they go into the general basket. You now you get the owners the responsibility for put pen to paper for say now XYZ we need for the attention of Parliament. The Honorable say they can either add 5 or reduce 5, depending on the request they want to make. Somebody they act on further investigations using the I-24 Interpol system.
Yes.
If I know their system, so they can give you the information name, we can make go nab the people. And they imagine this person here, now canned food. Now canned food.
That's Zambia national.
That's Zambia national. Now canned food. Shami. Now canned food, now they get in hand. You go out for ask how we able for come across that one day. Now through we networking, including the I-24 or even the Interpol system. So yes, we don't go only one for limit we safe to in. Because that person now a network, you don't do them alone. Now I make a whole fight organized criminality. We not only look at the person when are the subject matter of interest at the time. Now also what are the appendages, what really enable them. Because I'm thinking this Shamini, now just an agent with somebody use. It can be innocent, it can be a guilty agent. It can be say something, you know, what he carry. So person can meet him, he tell us, say, I want to carry this thing for me, now this go be you pay. And he take the risk.
Or even without pay. Or he just accept and I must say, okay, out of goodwill.
Fine.
You just accept and
say. So if out of goodwill, the lawyer they can say, innocent agent. But for that kind of criminality, for that kind of crime, they call a strict liability offense. If they can't give you this cap, for moving from point A to point B, and not check what's in the cap, they see out me. You say that Sally and I give me for Kango, me not even know how the cap did and that kind of thing. Nobody will listen to me on account of that one day. Sally will say, no, me not give that man anything. Me ain't not get that kind of transaction there. So now me go take the responsibility, and me go take owners of the responsibility. So they investigate beyond this person for check what's in the overall network and why, in fact, they choose for car use alone as the airport for fly go, Usa Ibidi go. Because this is Zambia. Now from Zambia, they far away in East Africa.
So Salon not to be the final
South Africa, sorry. Yeah, not to be in final destination.
So now be a transit point.
Now be transit for go and that kind. And some thinking some of the things that we can even make we become a little more curious. Now the routine of the passenger. Ibo me they go to England. There is a flight salon where they pull me from Freetown International Airport for going to England straight. I left that one day. I go take an airline where they can me go for Salabia, an airline where they can me go to Guinea, an airline where they can me go to South Africa. They come to me back na Zambia. They are flying now go to England. Any sensible person go begin for pay attention to that kind of person. Why this kind of routine? You want for go so. What did they take? What did they drop? And all of that one. So now that kind of situation is something even the traveling itinerary of the person. Ordinarily, they give you information about the person. So whilst maybe we'll not go pinpoint, say, has this person here, it don't get bad thing, but we will say, no, Lord watch this person in load. Lord watch in luggage. Wherever I put and Lord we actually ensure, say, we monitor the machine system for see what thing go happen. We make it don't pass all this way. Just for go, now one side, if you don't supposed to don't reach. So somebody for don't reach 2 days ago, But it's still in a road. You spend 3 days at that same road day. We say for just spend 1 green day. Or even hours.
The pass in other country.
The pass in other country. What did they do along the line? So we came for take note. Somebody mentioned about drone surveillance. Thankfully, it's not like a coincidence. Given the happenings in West Africa, Ghana, in collaboration with the government of Sierra Leone, don't realize we need to get a drone surveillance system along with borders. For not only take the coordinates, but for also able to watch the activities that happen along with borders. So we sent a personnel recently, when in Ghana, they undergo a geophysical survey for a chassis. Now, them border, in particular, decide the whole side will not get people from
man personnel
for able for fly and drone and they intermittently for see the activities, for support the ground activities where they happen. We also they look forward to a situation. This, of course, like a appeal with the throw to anybody we get that kind of technology. We know so China get them. That for we go amphibian drones. Amphibian drones are one the way they go under the water. You mentioned SIK. SIK is very, very expensive for run. One triple SIK they do. It costs
billions
the authorities billions of leons.
In fear and
they make them very, very difficult for able for continue for get them up and running. But forget amphibian drones. Drones the way they work underwater. You can go thousands of miles in the ocean. Surveillance what they happen there. Activities will happen because don't forget say sometimes you know the things you know especially in the water. What thing they happen are just at the water surface. The thing they happen under the water. It's much more even more dangerous than what thing they happen on top the water. Because we get amphibian vehicles, amphibian fishing vehicles, vessels where they come and take we fish away.
Okay.
They can fish now we land, go back and go surface on the other side and sell. You know the benefits alone and it replete with resources and that kind of thing. So we only ask that people will get access to surveillance drones and way na both up air and even amphibian drones. Now one day we'll go welcome for get and train with personnel for the use.
And government say for the consider for the investing, all that. If at all we will be protected and secured.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Abdul Karim. We'll accept maybe get any final thoughts or message for left with you before you go.
For appeal to Sierra Leoneans generally, that we all get a responsibility. These are the only country we call we own. If we make us safe, it will find for we, it will find for beginning. And for last, the state say, we continue to encourage private security companies on where they operate private security companies for let them do the needful and register and get license from the Office of National Security. If your license will expire, you get a responsibility for renewal. If you have to open a private security company, you get to do so going through the Office of National Security by the provisions of Section 31, subsection 1 of the National Security and Central Intelligence Act of 2023. It states anybody who have to operate a private security company as a loan, if you do so by securing the necessary licenses from the Office of National Security. Anything other than that, it will be in breach of the law. Then by Section 31, subsection 8, it states possibly operate a private security company without securing a license from ONS, they commit an offense for which, if they find them guilty, can go 5 years in jail or 5 years and pay 50 million or pay 50 million and go 5 years at the same time. Okay. So we encourage everybody when they operate a private security company for do the needful.
Honorable Mamadou Mahmoud, almost the situation almost get me confused and the beginning would get me worried. Who's are we there as a country if we are safe? Anyways, any final thoughts before we go, sir?
Yeah, me Fambulem, me a member of the Internal Affairs Committee in the Parliament. Oversight now one of the key functions there as members of Parliament as enshrined in Section 93(3), Act number 6 of the 1991 Constitution. And we don't provide oversight to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and all departments and agencies will fall under immigration or one of the departments will fall under the Internal Affairs. So we don't examine, we don't assess and evaluate the activities there. So we don't do all of those. We don't discover series of things them. One, we don't discover say the country is vulnerable to porous borders them. As we get over 800 crossing points them, and only 41 they will get immigration personnel for looking to activities them of things them and people where they come in and go out of the country. We don't as well discover say the manpower of the entire immigration sector is small for like they actually look into the activities there. So we don't make a recommendation that the immigration as an act of emergency for like they aim for recruit more people so that they go for do the job more effectively. Then we don't as well discover, say, even the 41 where then causing points here, so the infrastructure system there is very, very poor. The staff, the way they go, they not get side for day, they not get side for sit down for do the work. Then of course, even the vehicles or bike way, the one way they do intermittent patrol, they're not there enough. So we don't recommend that the government for serious for like further empower them so that they go for do the work and get the required results we could benefit we all in this nation. And I kindly as well encourage the government, if we at all they listen to their advice here, they decide for recruit people, they let them consider the people where they live now, they save community people where they live now, then crossing points here, for get them part of whatever recruitment they decide for do later. So I think
instead of you pull somebody from Freetown,
yes, exactly. You don't mean say no go pull person from Freetown, but let them make them a priority for make sure that they involve the people already and then crossing points here. Sure. It could be good for you as a nation because they will better understand the terrain and probably getting them involved. Yeah, I know say people nobody not perfect, but hence you don't bring the person on board. Something probably if it's ready, it be 90% get the tendency for accept money for the person come in. If you don't come in as a staff, something probably that 90% will decrease to 10%.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mahmoud Kamara, a member of Parliament from the Western Area, Urban Freetown, and a member of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Internal Affairs. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
We wish you the very best in our endeavors. And also Abdul Karim Will, Director of Strategic Communications, Office of National Security, and the spokesman for ONS. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for getting me. It's a pleasure.